Hey crafty people, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd, because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. Over the years I've dabbled in most types of crafting, although for the past decade or so I've been doing primarily card making and mixed media art. I've recently embarked on a junk journaling journey that I hope you'll join me on. Today we're going to be doing Melina's mscrapbuster challenge number 95. That's the one where she made 4 stacked pockets using a junk mail envelope. And I'm going to cheat just a little bit because I'm going to be using a new printable I got to make the project in the video, although I did use scraps for the sample one I practiced making before filming this video. So let's get crafting. This is the practice one I did, and as you can see it's got 4 pockets, and this was created from an envelope and made with scrap bits left over, mostly from the Show Some Style project I did, and these are almost all printables by Rach and Bella Crafts. So this one I did pretty much following what Melina did in her video. For the one I'm gonna make now, I'm gonna do things a little bit differently. For this project, you just need a junk mail envelope, and the one Melina used was the envelope that comes with a bill for you to send in your payment with, so it's a new envelope. Whereas I'm going for and I used one of those for this one. For the one I'm gonna make now, I'm using obviously one that my Spectrum bill came in. So first I am going to cut off the raggedy edge. So let's just trim down the raggedy bit on the end. So we got a nice clean end. And then we're gonna cut a little bit above the pocket. So this is going to create the 2 pieces. So this will be a pocket, this will be a pocket, this will be a pocket, and then you fold up the bottom to create the last little tuck spot. Now, on this one, my windowed pocket is from the top. For this, because I've already got it open on the side, I think I'm going to glue the top shut and have the pocket come in from the side, or maybe just leave it open and have the pocket come in from the side. So now we've got to cover this sucker up. I don't have a ton of scraps, unlike Melina's giant bowl of scraps. I don't have all that much scrap-wise, and I did just recently pick up the Victoria Designs Magical Unicorn printable kit. And I really want to play with it. So that's what we're going to use for decorating our pieces today. Because I can't wait to play with it. So that's what we're going to work with. And I'm going to start and do the top using this. Now, I don't have to cover the entire piece here because this is going to glue down on top. So I'm going to take a pencil, mark so I know about where I need to go, and then I am going to trim this down. All right, so I just went ahead and trimmed off all of the white from around the pages, and I'm going to start with the top piece, and we're just gonna use pencil. Mark it a little lower. That's where we're going to cut off. If I can see my pencil mark. And that's going to go up here, and we'll just trim off the edges after we glue it down. Let's start by doing that, and I'm going to use art glitter glue, because I like how fast it dries and how easy it is to use, and I am not a fan of glue stick, as I may have mentioned once or twice before. You of course can use glue stick or whatever glue you prefer to use. Just gonna lay that down for that piece. Then let's see, that's gonna go there. So for the bottom pocket, we're gonna fold this up, and I'm just gonna grab my bone folder and make sure it's secured down, and I am gonna glue this piece that's coming loose. Then this way I can see. If I use that, I am gonna end up cutting off the unicorn's head. So let's not do that. But I do kind of like that castle. So let's cut that off. Use this piece right there, and it's just long enough. I'm going to put glue along this edge because I want to get it as close to the edge there as possible, and then apply the glue on here. There we go. And I want to, and the nice thing about using this, because it's so open, is it'll be easy to stick something in behind so that we don't have the white showing. So I got the email from Victoria Designs announcing this release, and I opened it up and took a look at it and thought, I don't need any more digitals. And then I thought, but you really love the unicorns. So I could not resist picking up this beautiful kit. And I will put a link to her Etsy shop down below so you can check it out. And I ended up picking up the deluxe kit because it also came with the Fairy Realm. So I think that's gonna go inside. So let's just mark here and here so we can trim that down. So I tried to resist getting the unicorn kit, but I just couldn't because I have always loved unicorns. As a kid, I had unicorn posters in my room and unicorn figurines and all the unicorn things. Even now as an adult, I have a lot of the unicorn things all over my house. I was into unicorns before being into unicorns was considered cool. And I figured since I was eventually going to break down and buy the kit, I might as well do it while it was on sale, because when Victoria Designs releases a new kit, they usually put it on sale for a limited time. And I have to say, I'm kind of glad I did because I'm really loving the kit, and I will probably be making a unicorn themed journal in the future. I think we're going to use this piece across the top. And then I think I'm going to use some tea-dyed book page over here. So I may wait to put this on and then do this first. The real problem is trying to figure out how to navigate like the skinny bit here and then it goes over there. So I think what I am going to do is cut a thin strip of this. It needs to be And then what I think I'm gonna do for here is cut out one of these little unicorn guys and stick them there. Just gonna, right, that'll fit, yep, okay. And this is one of the pages, and I printed it out 2 pages to a sheet, so it's a little bit smaller than if you print it regular sized, and it's just a little short, but you can't really see that, so we're just gonna go with it. So let's go ahead and trim off our excess here. And up here. And over here. All the excess. And might as well trim the excess off on this guy. So that's going to end up going on there like that. And I think I may just leave that completely open. What I do want to do is, before I attach this to this, I'm going to ink around my edges. I'm going to use shaded lilac to do that. Right. And I think because I'm leaving that side open, I am gonna just ink in here a little bit, just in case you see it when you're slipping something in and out. And then ink around the edges up top. And of course I want a little thumb notch in that. And I am going to use, this is the notch punch that goes with my scoreboard for making envelopes. So that's going to cut out a cute little notch like that. Go back in, ink that, and it's not centered at all. This is why I don't eyeball things, because I cannot eyeball center to save my life. I'm much better off measuring it. All right, so that's going to go on there like that. And we're going to attach it just along the sides and the bottom so that this will be a pocket. So let's go ahead and add the glue for that. There, we've got a pocket back there. Now we need to finish this off. And let's see, that is not going to be big enough, but I think I'm going to use it. Just trying to decide. And actually, I printed this double-sided. On the back is a print piece from my Porch Prints kit. So I think what I may do is do that and then that. Yeah, I like that idea. I printed, because it was part of one of the like ephemera embellishment pages. This is on cardstock, whereas the papers I was using to collage, I printed on just regular old copy paper. And I think I'm going to ink the top edge of this first. And then I'm going to ink my edges again. Just be careful if you're trimming along the sides that you don't cut open your envelope. This is coming up too. Now you of course can decorate the back as well. I'm not going to because I am planning on sticking this right into my junk journal, my very first junk journal once we're done assembling it. So next step is to glue the sides of this down. Wipe that off so we don't glue it shut. Let's hold that for a sec. All right, and I printed out some ephemera bits so that I can fill my pockets. These were the pieces I printed on that the long strip was on the same page as these, so I think I'm gonna pick a couple of these to go in the big back pocket. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and glue this side shut. This was the side where I opened my bill from. So we're gonna do that. And we're gonna see how these fit in our pocket. And again, I'm gonna ink all of my edges. Now that's something you can keep in mind. I know a lot of the YouTubers I watch tend to, if they ink edges, which it's totally optional, you do not have to ink your edges, tend to use mostly like brown distressings for inking edges. And I do that if I want to get like a grungy, vintagey feel. But if I'm doing something like this, I much prefer using a color that goes with the pieces that I'm making. So it's got a nice, somewhat plain pattern on the back, so you could easily use this as a journaling card. And so that's going to go into the pocket. And I think I'm going to stick this guy in the pocket as well. You know what I do want to do? I want to round the bottom corners on this because it makes it a little easier for the pieces to go in and out of the pockets with a rounded corner. So we're just going to take a corner rounder, do that, go back in and re-ink those edges. And that's going to go in there. And this guy I want to round the corners. And then I think I'm going to use my We Remember Keepers Crocodile Corner Chomper Scallop Punch on the top corners to give a little interest. And then ink all around. Stick that one in there as well. And I do need to do something along the top on the back. Because this did not print borderless, and so I have a bit of a border, and you know what? Why not add a piece of that up there? Wish I had thought of this before I chopped the corners, but that's okay. We can always go back in and hopefully re-round our corner. We're just going to add this on as a little decorative piece at the top to cover up that bit. See, so there's a solution to every problem if you just give it a minute and think about it. Okay, so give that a second to let the glue dry, and we're just going to trim it around. There, and that covers up the white bit on the back. re-ink just to make sure we don't have any white bits showing. That'll go in our back pocket. For this pocket, I picked out this from one of the embellishment sheets, and I'm going to make like a little journaling card to tuck in. Trying to decide. So it will sit pretty much like that on the journaling card. I think we're gonna go ahead and use, this is a bit of tea-dyed paper. And actually I should probably put it on this side so that the back can be easily journaled on. And let's see, we need it to be the very scientific method here of just marking with pencil instead of measuring. So we're going to trim that down. So yeah, this one I tea-dyed using Lipton's blueberry and purple acai tea, and it gets a fantastic green color. I was so excited when I saw the results when I used it for some tea dyeing, because it's kind of one of those things when I tea dye, you never know what you're going to get when you use different types of like berry teas. So I will link the video where I show you how I did these below. So I'm gonna do this so that I can figure out exactly where I want my unicorn to go so that he sits prettily in the window. And then we'll go like this and just glue them down. I feel like it needs something on this side. Did also cut out a bunch of butterflies that came on the sheet. So maybe I like that, but I want to stamp something on that. So I've grabbed Stamper Anonymous Tim Hotlz tiny text, and I pulled out Believe in Yourself, which is too big. So I just want to stamp Believe on there. So I am going to be careful just to ink the word believe, and I'm going to tuck this in here to make sure I stamp it where it will be seen. And I think I'm going to stamp it right there. And I'm going to use Versamagic Spring Pansy to stamp it with. Not perfect, but good enough. I'm gonna add the butterfly. Actually, I think I might add that there and that guy there. It covers up the spot I smudged. There we go. Definitely want to round my corners. I think I'm going to use the 1/2 inch on this. And this one's done. Let's see, where did I put the piece? Okay. So this is going to go right in there. And I noticed this is sticking up a little bit, and I may stick a little paper clip on there to keep it closed. And I also may stick a piece of ribbon on this to show that it pulls out. So I've got some tea-dyed lace. So I think I'm just gonna attach a little bit of that to create a little pull tab on there. So let's snip that off. And since I'm doing fabric, I'm gonna grab my fabric tack, which you may notice I have gotten a Sweet Sugar Belle icing bottle to use so that I can have a nice fine tip on my fabric tack so that I don't get it all over the place. I'm just gonna put a little, am I on screen? I am not even on screen on my. I'm gonna just put a little bit of the glue on here just so it'll stick to itself and to be a little bit firmer. So there we go, we now have a nice little pull tab on there. This can go in here like that. So you see it's got a little pull tab. Now we need something for this pocket, and I printed out, this is another piece of the ephemera from the pack, and I think I just want to put something on the back. Not that, because it's not big enough. Maybe put this back there so that it's pretty on all sides. So let's go ahead and just glue that together. And please excuse my squeaky chair. I know it's squeaking like crazy because I keep shifting my weight, and every time I shift the weight, it squeaks. I tried figuring out why it was squeaking and took the bottom and the base part and tried to, you know, lubricate it so it stopped squeaking, and no luck. So yeah, I'm pretty much stuck with the squeaky chair until I get a new chair. So apologies for that, but such is life. All right, I'm gonna ink my edges and cap my glues so that they will hopefully work the next time I go to use them. Except I misplaced my pin for, oh, I already put the pin in the art glitter glue, that's why I can't find it. All right, let's ink our edges. And actually, before we do that, I am gonna deco punch the corners. I don't know how well you can see, but that is the We Remember Keepers deco punch. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna ink our edges. And this is just so that the white doesn't show on the sides. You, of course, can skip this step. So that's gonna go into that pocket. And then I've got a bunch of stamps from the set that I just thought were too cute. So to cut them out, what I ended up doing is taking, trim that off, a hole punch and hole punching where all the little arches are, and then trimming it to get the stamp shape. It was definitely a bit extra and not something you need to do necessarily, but I wanted them to have like the full-on stamp shape, so that's how I did it. And I did learn, one thing I did learn is I had trimmed it down on like the top side of this, made it much harder. If I had left it on the sheet and done the hole punching, the sections like between them where they were together and I just punch the holes between them worked much easier than the ones on like a short edge where I had like trimmed it out close to like the edge of the stamp shape. All right, so we're gonna tuck these guys into this front little pocket and that guy. There we go. We'll go with those guys. And I think what I'm gonna do is grab, I just picked up some mini paper clips, so we're gonna just grab a mini paper clip and tack that down with it since it's wanting to pop up a little bit. So I'm just gonna add a little mini paper clip up here. And there you go. We've got 1, 2. I'm not gonna pull this out because to do so I'll take the paper clip off. 3, 4 pockets. And we're all decked out in our unicorn finery here. I just love this kit and all the luscious unicorns in it. So yeah, I'm very glad I picked it up and that I got a chance to play with it. Stick that back in, and you know what? I'm gonna grab my junk journal and find a page, and we're just gonna glue this sucker in. All right, so I flipped through and I decided it's gonna go on this page, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna glue it down on the bottom and this side, which will create another tuck spot, because if I try and glue it down all the way, I can't use the clip to keep this pocket closed. So that's what we're gonna do, and then I'm gonna have to go let my dog out because he's decided it's time to go in the yard again and is dancing around. So I'm just gonna do that. And stick this on this page and hold it down for a sec. And now I can use my little paper clip to keep that pocket closed, and I've got a tuck spot back here so I can tuck. Ooh, that's not glued down all the way. I can tuck the other cards in, either sticking out like that or up like this for a 5th pocket. So there you go. There is our 4 pockets made from a junk envelope. And here is the other one I did, which has the pocket up here versus making it a tuck spot that's on the side and the top. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting!